Today we're starting our 3-step project of our watercolor pumpkins. So to begin today, you are going to get a piece of paper that is a little different than anything we've used. It's a watercolor paper. So at close look, you will see that it's a little bit thicker and it has a little bit of a texture to it. If you can feel the side that has that texture, that's the side you're going to want to start on. So this side to me is pretty smooth. I'm going to write my name on the back of that smooth side and I'm going to flip it over. At your tables you have some pumpkin handouts just to kind of get the idea of the shapes of pumpkins. Kids have asked, can we use circle tracers? No, you can't use a circle tracer. There's no perfect circle pumpkin. So on your paper, I encourage you to draw 1, 2, or even 3 pumpkins. So I'm going to use my paper the long way. If you want tall pumpkins, you could do that as well. And I am going to draw 2 pumpkins. So when I draw them, I kind of left a dent or a bump at the top to fit that stem in. So the stem kind of sticks in a pumpkin. I'm going to add 2 curved lines for that stem. And to give it kind of a 3-dimensional look, I'm going to add an ellipse at the end. And again, it can be bumpy. It shouldn't be perfect. That leaves me with plenty of other space on the other side of the paper to add my second pumpkin. I'm trying to scoot this in the video. I'm going to add it so it looks like it's behind this first pumpkin. So that means I'm not going to see this side of it. I'm going to start it over here, curve it around. I'm going to leave that little bump in for the stem. And then I'm going to finish it up at the bottom, which you can't really see. As I'm ready to add that stem, I could curve it in, I could curve it out, 2 curved lines and an ellipse. If you want to add leaves to your pumpkins, you could. If you want to add maybe one of those vines, you could do that. When you add vines, you want to make them 2 lines thick. That way, we'll be able to actually glue the vine. A couple things I want to check. So I'm going to flip this the other way so you can see my pumpkins are floating right now. So I need to add some kind of a ground line. It could be as simple as a line on the sides. So it looks like they're maybe in the dirt field. You could add some grass. If you're going to add grass, make it pretty simple. You don't want a ton of jagged edges or you're going to have to glue all those. So I just erased the bottom of that pumpkin so it looks like the grass is in front of it. Last thing I'm going to add with my pencil are some of those bumpy texture lines. So on a pumpkin, the lines curve kind of like a basketball, where they're fairly straight in the middle and then they curve on the edges. I wouldn't go crazy with these pumpkin lines. Like 4, 3, I suppose you could even have as many as 5. If you add more than that, it's going to look like your pumpkin is not real when you get 100 lines in here and then you have to glue them. So once you have your pencil lines drawn, you are ready to glue. So I have paper towels at your table. I would grab one of those paper towels to do a little practicing with your glue bottle. You want a nice line, you don't want to get those blobs, and you don't want it super skinny. We want to create a nice line that will dry and kind of trap our watercolors in. So this is not super thin. It's got a nice thick line to it that'll dry nice. So you're going to continue to outline your entire drawing with glue. These will not go in our drying rack today. In our drying rack, things curl over the edges and drip. So Mrs. Cleary will have cleared off some spaces on the counters around the room for you to carry these carefully with 2 hands to dry.